Okay, let me explain what the real significance of the separation of church and state is, especially in the United States, in our Constitution, all that. Because today we have so many dumbbells, that it's this digital generation. There they are. Their rooms and the streets and schools and all. Tick 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 with their cell phones, and that's all they know. That's about the sum of their education and idea of things. We are living in the dark ages here in the U.S. This is the dumbest generation ever. Because they have no sense of anything, no critical sense, no sense of the past or tradition or history or anything like that. That's why they come up with so many stupid statements and ideas and all that. So, okay, if you're going to understand the separation of church and state, you have to understand the times and environment, of when it came out. All right, here's what happened. In Europe, the Holy Roman Empire had broken up, which it was Europe was all one faith, one state, and all that, but that got all broken up. So you had what was the formation of church states, okay, governments and nations, run by churches, okay. So Portugal, Spain, the Vatican States, Austria, they were Catholic states, okay. So no Protestant was allowed in those places. You'd go to the Inquisition, you'd get burned at the stake or something, get killed and all that sort of thing. Jews were not accepted either. They were all expelled from these places. They had to go back to, they had to go to Turkey to live because they were not allowed any place in these countries. So these were hostile Catholic states. Right? Then you had the Protestant states. You had, like in England, you had the Anglican Church that didn't tolerate anybody except themselves. That's why the Pilgrims had to leave that country and other people. You had the Presbyterian state in Scotland. All right, so you had these church states. And then you had the Protestant states in Germany, Scandinavia, and all. You had the Lutheran states. All right, in Holland and Switzerland, you had the Huguenot or the Calvinistic states. And if a Catholic went there, or a Jew went up there, he would get killed. Right? So he had this hostility, and you had these big wars in the 17th century. The whole 17th century were all religious wars between all these different states and countries, run by churches, run by pastors and priests and whatever kind of a thing. All right? It was all big division, all big separation, hostility between one and the other. Now, the only country in Europe that accepted religious toleration was Holland. They permitted Protestants and Jews and all to go there and practice their faith and everything else. So hundreds and thousands flocked to this country. That's why Holland became such a great country too, prosperous and all that, because it promoted religious toleration, which no other country did. The U.S., the colonies, all right, they also had this thing of church and state too. Massachusetts Bay Colony was dominated by the Puritans. New York was by the Anglican Episcopalians. New Jersey was by the Lutherans. Pennsylvania by the Quakers. Maryland by the Catholics. The South was by the Baptists. Right? So you had many church states, like you had religious states in Europe, and so the churches dominated the colonies. The pastors and all that. They made all these decisions and everything else, and whatever. So. The founding fathers, especially Madison and Jefferson, they didn't want that. Right? So even before they wrote the Constitution and everything else, they fought to separate church and state. All right? In Virginia, they wanted, and New York, they wanted to take away, disassociate the Anglican Church with the state and all that, because they didn't want to be dominated by religion. They wanted, these people getting involved in civil affairs and political affairs by these religious groups. So they wanted the freedom from these groups who that dominates. That's what was the separation of church and state. It was not hate for religion. It was not atheism. It wasn't secularism. Nothing like the stupidity these people talk today about. Being anachronistic and putting that in those times. But it was that. But all these guys that fought against the domination of particular churches in the state were all religious men. Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, all these people, they had a lot of writings and correspondence and letters, all talking about God and everything else, you know. So, like I say, the separation of church and state is not the separation of church and God and the state. God is accepted, okay, but religious we're not, and you can understand the reason why. So now here comes these atheists and say, oh, there was a secularistic, atheistic foundation of our country and all that. Not that bullshit. You're making all that. You don't even understand history. You're projecting your modern situation back to those times. It was nothing like that at all. Okay? Please understand these things.